Welcome to the Arms Room with Glenn.
And John.
And Mason.
And Mason.
Today we're going to be talking about concealment, and really deep cover or deep concealment is what we were really going to be talking about. The Arms Room show is really about how the average person can utilize firearms, emergency preparedness, emergency medical techniques in their everyday life to really be confident in their ability to take care of themselves and the people that they love. Concealing a firearm is something that comes up a lot in training, because here's the thing. So we see these students and they've got a gun on their hip and some on the waistband holster, and they're training out of it, and that's great. And then you start talking to them like, yeah, well, I want to carry a gun. Okay, well, how are you going to carry it? Well, I have no idea. Right. I own a company called Independence Training. Started getting involved in defensive level training for civilians, introductory level classes, as well as some advanced coursework and emergency medical stuff. So that's really kind of the focus of our show here as well.
I'm a prior service Marine, currently serving the Arizona National Guard, and I am the co-host of the Arms Room show. A few years ago, I got involved with Independence Training as an assistant instructor. I think that there's a serious lack of education about what guns are capable of, what guns are used for, how to use guns, how to be involved in the lifestyle period. I think the biggest problem is education.
If you're going to carry a gun and you believe that because you were raised around guns, you spent time in the military, you're a cop or whatever, that you are done with training,
you're wrong.
I come from a military background. My father was in the military. I grew up around firearms just like everybody else did. I'm also a probationary instructor with Independence Training. I'm kind of learning the tools of the trade, learning what it takes to become a firearms instructor. I've been with the Arms Room for almost 2 months now. I've been with Independence Training for about 6 months now. I do all of the soundboard stuff. I also handle all of the produce all of the publishing online.
If you're going to carry a firearm, this is a big responsibility to take on in your life. Right, and that responsibility requires a higher standard of care in how you're going to learn. So, you know, a gun is not a strap-on accessory. It's not a watch. It's not a bracelet. It's not a belt. It's a really big piece of equipment that you're kind of taking responsibility for. You can find the Arms Room show very easily. We have a website, thearmsroomshow.com. We're also on Facebook, and you can always pick us up on podcast, iTunes, and YouTube by searching for The Arms Room.